So since really annoyingly, my last video decided to completely cut off and not record at all, and I lost all my recording of Delaware, I'm just going to do an introduction to what a concurrency is. A concurrency is when two highways share the same road. The closest example of that to where I live is in Hicksville, 106, 107. They merge here and they're the same highway throughout northern Hicksville into Jericho before they eventually split off just past NY25. Don't worry, NY25 has its own concurrency at some point here in Smithtown as 25A jumps down to meet 25 briefly, in Smithtown. There's many reasons why a concurrency could be formed. I think there's also one. There's also one on NY27. There's also one on NY27 further out east, where NY27 has a brief concurrency with County Routes 39 and 39A. Now you may be wondering, why do concurrencies happen? There's many reasons as to why a concurrency could happen. It could be as a shared crossing, or just in general. An example of a shared crossing could be seen on I-95 in New York. As a George Washington Bridge is crossing, you have US Route 9 that has a concurrency, so that there's less need for bridges across the Hudson River. And then on the Alexander Hamilton Bridge, you still have the concurrency with US Route 1, and then eventually it separates with I-95 as well. So that's that. And it gets even more complicated on the New Jersey side because you have US 1 to 9, which that forms a long concurrency, and then you also have US 46 that joins the party but dies at the border. US Route 1 to 9 is a long concurrency of the two shared roads as they share the route from Manhattan all the way down to Woodbridge Township before they separate again. But that's an example of why there'd be a concurrency around a bridge. Although another weird example is NY 440, which in Staten Island has a brief concurrency with I 278. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but yet that's just how it works. They also have a concurrency with the Korean War Veterans Parkway, but that's a little bit different. There's a lot of concurrencies that you'll see in the along certain highways, and I might do a video analyzing them more in depth, but I just want to do an intro to what it is.